Hello, this is Paul Curzon. I'm the Network Media Product Manager at AMX. And in this video, I'd like to show you how we're bringing the integration of Inspired Signage into our Resource Management Suite software at AMX. Our Resource Management Suite software is very powerful enterprise software that allows you to control and monitor all the assets throughout your enterprise. And historically, this monitoring has been done via one of our Netlinks masters. Well, with the latest release of our XPert Player software, we are actually integrating the Signage Player directly within RMS so that the player can talk directly to RMS for the purposes of monitoring and control. And in this video, I'd like to show you briefly how that works. So we start off here on the web pages for the Signage Player. Now you need to be running release DM 1.8 or later, as this was the release that added the RMS integration into the software. And on the web config pages for the player, you'll see a very simple RMS configuration screen. You basically enable RMS capability, point it to your RMS server, give it a client gateway name. This is the gateway name that will be shown within RMS, and then you need to put in the password of your RMS server. Once the player reboots, it will connect up directly to that RMS server. So that's really about all the configuration that you have to do. Now, if we go over into RMS, I mentioned that it will show up as a client gateway. That's how devices connect into RMS. And in this location, we have a number of client gateways. And I'll point out this one here, this PK XPert gateway, that's my Signage Player. And this gateway has appeared, and there's some parameters about the gateway that are shown, and then we will list the assets being represented by that gateway. In this case, it's only the one player that's being represented, so you can see the Inspired XPert Player. If we go under Asset Management then, we can start to see what we can do with this player asset. So if we click on the player asset, you can see any number of parameters in this list. These are things that we're monitoring on the player. Things like CPU temperature and GPU temperature and processor load and available memory. And what this allows you to do is to leverage the power of RMS notifications and reporting to do things such as get a notification by email that a player has dropped offline, or that maybe it's in a situation where maybe it's getting too hot, or you can run reports to assess the state of your player hardware over a period of time. These are all benefits that you get from within RMS simply because we've connected to it. Now the second thing you can do with it is execute control methods. And what that allows you to do is to control the player from within RMS. And so based on the content that's loaded on the player, we expose control methods that are valid for that player. So this can be things such as displaying live media, so that's turning on and off streaming video to the player, or displaying override content, or if you are showing live media, selecting the channel. And we even publish the streams that are available to that player as a list in RMS so you can just pick from it. And then sometimes our signage content exposes variables, and those variables are used to change some aspect of the digital sign. And so we'll make all the public variables available in a list. Now, how much you use this? Well, for example, if you schedule certain things to happen within your enterprise, say after a certain time, now, and it could be things like turning displays off and on, changing the lighting. You can also now include things like changing your sign. Maybe you want to switch from a live media stream to a sort of standard signage content, or maybe you want to turn your signs into showing television content at a certain time of day. And so these are all things now that you can control while you're controlling all the other assets in your enterprise. And then the third thing that you can do is you can send messages or notifications to the Signage Player. And the way this works is within RMS, you go in and you say, I want to send a message to the location. And there's a number of ways of getting to this. And it will show up a send message dialog box. And in that, there are 5 message types that we support: information, warning, security, critical, and question. And one of the things to think about when you're sending a message from a system to a Signage Player is there content on the player to show that message? Has it been loaded? Is there any chance that it was deleted or changed, or that the player has been put into a state where that content will never be seen? Well, if you're wanting to get an information message out, and you're the RMS administrator, or you're a facilities administrator, and you want to get this information out, you want to know, you want to have a high degree of confidence that that information will be displayed by the Signage Player. And so what we've done on the XPert Player, starting with this release, is we've built in standard content for these 5 different message types, and they're in a protected area, so they can't be inadvertently overwritten or deleted or changed, and they will override all the other signage content while they're being shown. So if you're an RMS administrator, you can rest assured that when the player picks up the message, it will be able to display it. So for a quick demonstration of this, we'll switch back over to the player, and we'll bring up its live view screen. And so at the moment, this player is just showing some live signage content. Now I'll go back into RMS, and I'm just going to send an information message, and I'll say this is an information message, and send it. Now RMS is based on a polling system where the different gateways poll into RMS in order to see if they have any messages or any commands that they need to execute. And so it'll take a few seconds waiting for that next polling cycle. But as soon as the player sees that it has this information message, it will appear on the screen. And once it appears on the screen, then it will be on the screen for the duration defined by the message. So if we said it was a 30-second message, it will show up on the screen for a period of 30 seconds. And like I said, we have 5 different screens for the 5 different message types that you can send from RMS. So that's it. It's a brief overview of the integration. I hope this video has given you a bit of an appreciation for the things that you can do when you integrate our AMX Inspired XPert digital signage system in with our resource management suite. Thanks a lot.